First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. Oh, ooh, the way that things have been. Oh, ooh. Second thing, second, don't you tell me what you think that I can be. I'm the one.
All right, Dr. Bauer, we are live, I think, definitely on Facebook. Hello, everybody. And also on WNPV 98.5 Lansdale right now. So we're trying this different. I've got a lot of technology going on right here. So
it is for the listener at home.
Let me get your mic up. There you go.
Oh, there we go. For the listener at home, this is so impressive. He has all kinds of streams and lights and cameras and microphones. So
I know we're at least on Facebook because I can see it here. I believe we're on WNPV. And Mrs. Fake has just confirmed that we are for sure on WNPV as well. So here we are. We're in the North Penn television studio at the WNPV radio desk. You're going to see the back of my head a lot because I'm just going to look this way. But we've got our star of the show here, Dr. Bauer, to talk about our school board meeting from March 16th, last Thursday, at Towamencin Township's municipal building. So talk to me about our friends over at Towamencin and how they helped us out for our meeting on Thursday.
Yeah, so as we've been saying monthly here, Bob, we are partnering with local municipalities, and this month happened to be Towamencin Township, and they were very, very hospitable. Couldn't have done more for us, very helpful and eager to support us. They recognize the community partnerships and how important that is. So special shout outs to a few people here: Colleen Earl, David Kranick, and Clayton Reed. Is that Reed?
Yeah,
that
Clayton Reed. Yeah.
And then Lieutenant Wainwright, of course. And then Bob, you have a special shout out.
Naval was huge. He helped me out that night. We were streaming using their equipment. So when we go to these buildings, we're, when in Rome, we're using their gear that they use to stream their own meetings. So it went really well. Huge help for me to have a flawless meeting from a technology standpoint. So we really appreciate it. Naval, I know you don't get many shout outs. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. Great job on Thursday night. So this was kind of a standard meeting on Thursday. So some things like bids for the summertime where we purchase supplies, AV supplies, nursing supplies, the nitty gritty of like batteries and Band-Aids and those kinds of things. We talked about our NAP change orders because that's project's coming to a close. We want to talk about how that's finishing and what we're doing with NAP moving forward.
Yeah, so great points. We don't spend enough time talking about these minor details, but minor details get big when you're talking about a school district of 13,000 students. So the bids themselves, we put out requests for bid, and folks and companies bid on our requests. And then we have to take the lowest responsible bid. And it's just part of the purchasing and procurement process in a public school district. So being fiscally responsible with a taxpayer dollar. So it's an important process. It's a lot of paperwork.
Yep.
And people really don't care about bids for the most part. But like you said, everything down to medical supplies and Band-Aids.
Yeah.
All right.
So I want to get to our student achievement. I really should have started off with that.
Let's do it.
But I'm going to stay in the bid and we'll close it piece. So another piece we had, if you saw there, we're talking about the North Penn High School renovation and things we need here. On that agenda was a bid for the senior cafeteria here at the high school air conditioning unit. So if we're renovating here, why are we replacing that right now?
Yeah, so the renovation project and the timeline that we outlined last Monday, Bob, was even if the decision is made in April, as we hope it is, to design the renovation of North Penn High School, regardless of which way we go, we're talking a probably 7-8 year project. So we are not going to sit back and just let broken things be broken.
Stay broken.
Yeah, for 8 years. So that is something that will need to happen. The high school is utilized throughout the summer. Not all of our buildings are. But the high school is a busy metropolis, even in the summer, all the camps and activities that go on. So we will be replacing that unit. And it is when you own 22 buildings, notice I said 22 because we got that healthcare center now.
Correct. Yep.
When you own 22 buildings, things break and you need to repair them. But then you get to a point where 52 years in, it's time for an overall renovation for all the systems, and a lot of the systems in a building like this. The shelf life's 30 years. We're 52 years in, and we've been outlining, and I think most people understand that this building needs to be renovated. So we still have to fix the broken things, but we're going to be renovating hopefully here in the next couple of years.
Excellent. So lots more information coming on our high school renovation. Of course, we talked a lot about that last week. We had our presentation on Monday night. We have our community forum that's coming up on April 13th, 6
You're correct.
At,
April 13th.
At Pembroke Middle School. So everyone will be getting a lot more information on that. Now let me rewind back to the beginning of the board meeting, and then we'll talk about some other student achievement. But we had our bocce team and our unified track team that were at the school board meeting, because we always have student presentations when we're out and about in the community. Talk to me about their presentation and how they did.
Yeah, so the bocce ball unified sports is a bit different than people are familiar with Special Olympics.
Sure.
And Special Olympics is for students with disabilities competing against other students with disabilities. And certainly we participate in Special Olympics and love that event and all that it brings as well. But unified sports is students with and without working together on a team. So as we chose to highlight a different school at each building, township building, this month we chose the unified bocce and track teams from North Penn High School. And they just gave a beautiful, simple presentation. They stood up there and talked about why these sports are so important to them and what the value is in the activity itself. And it's not just competition, it's friendships, life lessons. And the kids stood up there. No adults spoke from the mic, which was really great to see. So they actually said to me, Bob said he doesn't want to hear from us. So, and that
was to the adults, not the kids.
Yes, of course. So the kids were incredible. And obviously they are creating memories and values and qualities that will last a lifetime.
Yeah, it's an amazing organization from a standpoint of the bocce team and the unified track. And it is, when we talked about, what would we highlight? There's so many things to highlight here at North Penn High School. And it's one of these organizations and clubs that really, I think, exemplifies the best of North Penn and working together and the culture of this building.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like, that's a no-brainer. That's who we'd like to come over to Tillmenson. Also, big weekend winning for our North Penn swim teams. So let's talk about that. We've got a state champion in the house now.
Yes.
So let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah. So this is near and dear to my heart, of course. Those who know me well know I was a swimmer and a swim coach and swam in college. So certainly I follow swimming very closely, and just thrilled to say that the boys swimming and diving team brought home the state title at the AAA level. There's AA and AAA in swimming. Some sports has as far as 5A, 6A.
Yeah.
But in this case, there's AA and AAA, and your North Penn Knights brought home the team trophy. A lot of folks think of swimming as an individual sport, swimming and diving, but it is a team sport. So what they do is they add up the points from your finishes, and you get a cumulative score at the end. And we were the #1 team in the state of Pennsylvania this year. So many accolades in our aquatics programs, but it has been quite some time since the boys won the overall team championship. So thrilled about that. And Bob, if I may, I love to throw the personal touch into these interviews, or the Superintendent Live.
Yep.
And I got to give a shout out to my daughter, Cameron Bauer, who plays basketball for a team called SHIBA, stands for Souderton Harleysville Youth Basketball Association. They won the state championship this weekend for the 7th grade in State College. So my wife is the coach and my daughter's on the team. They've lost in the title game the last 2 years. So this year was pretty special. Cameron, I know you're listening. She's actually home sick today, Bob. Mm-hmm. She's actually sick and she's listening, and just congratulations. I'm very proud of her. And of course, proud of Mrs. Bauer.
Excellent. Great job, Rick. Yeah, championship weekend. Just going back to the swim team, we talk about that team part where I think a lot of people don't realize. So we had a state champion diver. So that was Brady Stanton. He won the gold for diving. But it's always interesting if you know swimming and you watch, when for the rest of the team in the events that they were competing in, there were no first place finishes. There were seconds and thirds and lots of places. But that's where the team element comes from, with the points, because you get points for each place. And because North Penn placed in all of their events, they had more points than, say, a team that may have won 1 or 2 first place finishes. And combining in the diving there, how much that's a team event and how much they work together to say the second place race, the 3rd place race, the 5th place race are all important races. So no matter where you're at, even if you know, like, well, we're not going to have the fastest time in this event, how important as a team that you work as hard to get the best places you can, because that all adds up. And it's really interesting to watch a team celebrating that they got 2nd or celebrating they got 3rd in an event because of the points they get and how that accumulates up there. So it's really interesting to watch the races I remember way back when I had an announcer doing swimming, and he knew all that about the points. And so North Penn didn't win first in whatever the final 400 relay final event, didn't get first. So he's announcing, and he's like just going nuts that they got second. And I go, that's a bit Homer, that's what gave North Penn the win to get second. But like, you also acknowledge it, that the other team had won first in this event, but because North Penn got second, it was just kind of funny. I'm like, gotta tone down the getting so excited about second, third. That's very Homer. You got to be a little bit.
Bob, I'm pretty impressed with the swimming knowledge here.
Well, I do share an office with a swimming expert. So Mrs. Mary Fakish, along with Brian Fakish. If nobody knows, they're going to know now. We were college roommates. So I've seen a lot of swim meets in my time.
Got it.
I am not an expert at all, but I do know that.
Can you swim?
Yeah, of course I can swim.
Okay.
Competitively? Yeah, no. I always like to tell the story in Boy Scouts. The first time I took my son to Cub Scout camp, I had to take a swim test. No problem. I could swim. And you start doing that. By the end of that, I thought I was going to have a coronary. I'm like, I haven't been in a pool in 20 years swimming. I've been in a pool. Doing laps is a different beast. So anyway,
got it.
Not a swimmer, wasn't a swimmer, can swim. You're not going to see me in the 500 at any time soon.
I think we also had a female individual.
We did. Champion. Speaking of Fakishes,
Maddie Fakish won the 500 freestyle.
Absolutely.
Actually, an event that is near and dear to my heart as well.
Was that your
my
event?
Best event. Yeah. So she won the state title for North Penn Knights. Very proud of Maddie and all the accomplishments of all the student athletes that were there this weekend. So true team win, exciting weekend for the Knights.
It was awesome. It was excellent. What else do we have going on this weekend? Trying to think. We had a big multicultural celebration event at the high school here. I think there were a good 18 acts in this show.
Oh, wow.
It was very well attended. And it was basically students decided they wanted to bring all of the cultural groups together to do a show showcasing each element of each of the cultural groups here at the high school. So really successful. The first time we've ever done it here in our high school. We expect it to grow and get bigger, but it's one of these things that then happens and then leads up to our big International Spring Festival, which is 15th.
I'll look it up while you're talking. Go ahead, kill time, Bob.
Yeah. So the International Spring Festival is a massive event, one of the biggest events we hold here at North Penn High School through the International Spring Festival Committee. And it's a big community event. April 15th, was I accurate? Excellent.
You were correct.
Starts at 11 p.m. with they have a parade of nations.
11 a.m.
Did I say p.m.?
You said p.m.
That'd be a late event. So it's 11 a.m. Yeah, it's 11 a.m. And it's an awesome all-day event because we have acts in the gymnasium, in the auditorium lobby, in the Audion, down in the cafeteria. We have tons. The whole cafeteria is filled up with all kinds of cultural food. It's a really amazing day to celebrate our culture here in the community. And we get thousands and thousands of people. And I would expect you'd see some of these groups that performed Friday night to also be featured at the International Spring Festival when that comes.
They are teasing that Governor Josh Shapiro may be in the house that day.
Could be.
Yeah, that'd be great to have him.
Big stars. Well, I thought this would be probably a shorter Superintendent Live. We talked last week about high school renovations. I would just have everybody rewind back to that and check in on that. And then go to our website. You can go to npenn.org. The link's right on the main page there to get more information about what we're talking about with the renovations. But other than that, anything else going on?
No, I just want to highlight those dates again, because I really believe that we can't say these things enough. That April 13th will be a community forum, 6:00, Pembroke Middle School. Question is, why are you doing a community forum about the North Penn High School renovation at Pembroke? The issue is a conflict here at North Penn High School. So the facility is not available because it is the building that never sleeps. But we will be at Pembroke Middle School, 6:00, April 13th. And then April 25th, hopefully we have a school board vote on a design. And that could ultimately lead us to a resolution for a referendum as outlined last Monday. So if you haven't done that yet, watch that meeting, or to get the Cliff Notes version, you and I were on for like an hour.
We did.
That
so
was
if you're a little
long.
bit shorter, you could hit us. Yeah.
So, but there's articles on North Penn Now, the North Penn Reporter, or it's called The Reporter, I believe now. And, but please stay engaged, reach out to us if you have questions, any of us over at central office or Mr. Gilmer or the high school principal. But we really want to hear feedback and talk with folks. I gave a tour last week to a couple because they reached out and they had concerns. I said, let's go for a walk. So we will give individual tours, group tours. It's going to be a process over the next 6-8 months.
So promoting another event then we have on April 3rd, and I don't know if the bus is full yet.
It's close, but it is not full.
So we have our bus to our North Penn High School future, where we're going to Upper Marion High School. They've been recently new construction, but recently they opened this fall, to kind of look at what new spaces look like in a high school. So that there are still spots on that bus. That is also on that website. So if you go to the renovation website, Reimagine North Penn High School, on the main page of npenn.org, you're going to see in there two things we want your feedback on. Well, if you want to get on the bus, get in there and sign up now, because we only have so many spots. The other thing is, in there is a Q&A form for you to submit any question you have, of which we'll post frequently asked questions from that, but also take that into account for our community forum on the 13th. So those kinds of questions. And of course, we'll take your questions that night as well at the community forum. The reason I want to go back, I didn't say this, is that the auditorium's not available. Is we're full on. This is our season of getting ready for our spring musical. And if you haven't heard,
are we having a spring musical?
I think we have one.
Is that right?
I think it's based on a movie. Could be a big studio that does movies.
Oh, Bob, just let it go. Just let it go.
Nice.
Oh, come on, people.
That's good. That's good.
Dad joke.
So we're getting ready for Frozen, but today Disney released a big montage of all 50 schools, 51 locations, because one's the Department of Defense, 51 schools who were selected for Frozen, and they put together a music video that was released today. So North Penn has a couple clips in there that we put together and sent to them as well. We have our own version, of course.
Of course we do. Of course we do.
So at some point we'll release our full version where it's just our kids, but it's on our Facebook page right below this post. So if you want to check it out, it's a lot of fun. So
I believe I heard. So we're having 8 shows.
Correct.
Right? We usually have 4. We are having 8 shows. We're going to do some quick math here. Okay, just round figures. 8 shows, roughly 1,500 seats in the auditorium, rough, right? So that is 12,000 tickets available. And I heard that there is less than 2,500 left.
I think it's way less than that.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah,
so that means we've sold over 10,000 tickets.
Yeah, it's. I was just looking at it this morning, and I was briefly looking at the seating charts and what's left. And if you haven't gotten your tickets, you better get in there and get tickets now, because I don't know that we're going to have tickets by the time we hit April.
Unbelievable.
But I want to say it's like under 700 tickets left for all those shows. So yeah, it's exciting. So usually,
do you think there'll be a market on StubHub for this event?
I will say this. Look, when we first posted tickets were open last week, be careful, because there were people saying I had tickets and we hadn't released tickets yet. I'm like, so keep an eye on people trying to sell tickets to Frozen. I don't know that they're legit. So always call us. You never know. Someone may have to give back tickets or something of that nature. But if you haven't gotten your tickets and you want to see the show, get it now. Now, here's the thing. We only have, how many seats did you say we had?
I was guessing roughly 12,000.
Okay. So 12,000 seats. I think
it is, because of 1,700 times
17.
8.
Yeah. But we do have, on the Saturday night of the first week and the Saturday night of the second week, we have a live stream, which North Penn Television does the production of, that you can buy a ticket for that. So in that sense, we have an unlimited ability to share the show. So if you don't get a ticket and you're still heartbroken, but you want to see the show, you do have to watch it on one of those 2 Saturday nights, the first Saturday night or the second Saturday night. It is not an on-demand thing. It is live. So you'll see the live show. It's a different ticket price because it's for a household, but that's an unlimited seat. So we can sell as many of those as we need to. So even if we fully sell out here in a couple of weeks, there are still opportunities to see the show, but it will be a live stream from North Penn Television, which it is definitely not just a wide camera sitting in the back. So if you've seen any of our events, we try to do our best with the coverage of that. So we're really excited for us to be able to provide that.
He's being modest, folks. It will be wonderful. Can't wait. So excellent. Yeah, I think that price was $35.
Yeah, I think that's
something like that. But again, that's for a household. You can have multiple families over. Come on over and watch that. So I can't believe 700 seats left out of roughly 14,000. See, I went up.
And that's a week. They went on sale on Wednesday. Less than a week.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
5 days.
Yeah. That has not happened before that quickly, but okay. Other than that,
no, I think we're good.
Thanks everybody. This is from our radio station location that, if you notice, it's also here in our North Penn Television studio. So news desk on that side, radio desk on this side. And if you were listening this morning on WNPV, I didn't have to hit an ID, so we don't have to do that yet. So we weren't on for more than an hour, but we'll be going back to the music on WNPV here in a moment, and Facebook Live will end here as soon as I hit stop. So I'll turn around and I'll wave to everybody. Thanks for tuning in this morning. We hope this was informative. Dr. Bauer.
That's all we have for you, folks. This was great. Bob reached out to me this morning and said, hey, you want to do a Superintendent Live? Always enjoy it. People seem to enjoy it, even if it's brief and there are very few action or business items. It's still good to get together, chat, and engage our community.
All right, very good. All right, everybody, take care. Have a great week.